The De-Atomizer Strike, or Nuke, can be one of the most difficult things to get in Infinite Warfare because it requires you to get a 25 gun streak with the weapon that has a nuclear perk on it. My two favorites are the NV4 Fallout or the K-Bar Bunker / Igloo Buster. They're the same gun. You really want to use stealth to your advantage when you're going for the nuke. I like to put on a silencer and ghost. You really just don't want the enemy to know where you are. If they know where you are, it's much easier for them to kill you. If they don't know where you are, you can shoot them in the back and just get a bunch of easy gunfights for yourself, and you're really going to need those on the way to the 25 gun streak. Just one thing can go wrong and you lose it, so you just want to be very careful and be as stealthy as possible. You'll see at one point in this gameplay, I get behind the enemy team spawn and I'm just constantly shooting them in the back, and that's where the stealth comes in. They didn't know where I was because I had a silent weapon and they weren't watching the kill cam for whatever reason. And that brings me to my next tip, and that is just to take as few head-on gunfights as possible. You want to constantly be flanking and shooting people in the back or having good cover against them. Just head-on gunfights are very bad when going for a nuke because one thing goes wrong and you're dead, and then that's your streak down the drain. My favorite rig for this would be the Merc with the reactive armor and the man-at-arms trait. The reactive armor is very obvious. If you do happen to get an unfortunate head-on-head, you can pop the armor and then get that kill easily. And then the man-at-arms, you just start with full ammo, which is nice. I do run scavenger as well, but just not being able to worry about it ever is great. Sometimes you're not going to be able to pick up the scavenger bag. It's going to be too dangerous too, so just starting with full and then having scavenger as well. Just don't worry about it ever. When going on for the nuke, you want to worry about as few things as possible. I would recommend playing whichever game mode you're most comfortable with. In this gameplay, I am playing Team Deathmatch, but if you're not comfortable with Team Deathmatch, if you don't really know how to predict the spawns well, it wouldn't be a good game mode for you to get your nuke in. So just play whatever you're comfortable with as long as you can get a nuke in there. Obviously, like Search and Destroy, it's going to be very difficult. But play a respawn game mode that you're comfortable with. Doesn't matter what, just go with what you're comfortable with. For my streaks, I like to use the UAV and the counter UAV the most. I see that some people like the advanced UAV as well, but I like to use just these two because you can loop them very often. If you throw the advanced UAV in there, you're probably only going to get like 2 UAV encounters the entire streak. But if you just have UAV encounter alone, you can get like so many throughout your streak, and then the enemy's just constantly countered, decreases their awareness, they don't know what's going on, and then you have your UAV constantly, and that helps you out. Patience is going to be very important when going for the nuke. You're not going to get it every time. Sometimes shit's just going to go wrong. People are going to leave the game. Someone's going to get a lucky care package and kill you with something. Just bad things are going to happen. So it's really about repetition. Just having a clear mind and going for it as many times in a row, and you'll eventually get it. I often find that if I'm actually going for the nuke, I won't get it. But if I'm just playing, I end up getting a high streak. I don't know what it is, but just thinking about going for the nuke puts more pressure on, and it just doesn't work out as well. So just stay calm. It's going to take a lot of tries sometimes. Some people can get it just straight away. You get that lucky lobby right away with the worst players. That's another thing. You want to find bad players to get the 25 kill streak on. You're probably not going to be able to get a 25 kill streak on very good players. So if you play a game and there's a bunch of good players in there, maybe you want to back out and find a new one. And that's another thing. You're just going to have to find the right lobby at the right time with the right map for you. Learn where you want to play on certain maps. It's a lot of learning about your own personal things. Like having these tips are helpful, but you really want to learn what's best for you. That's it for this video. Please like if you enjoyed it and comment down below if it helped you get your nuke, and please subscribe if you're new here for more Infinite Warfare tips and guides videos.